Listen well, O peoples of the earth, to inner promptings of the Spirit. Let silence enter your house that you may hear. For within your heart, love speaks, not with words of deceit, but of spiritual truths to guide you upon the paths of peace. Do not hide this from your children. Teach of the inward voice and help all generations to listen in the silence, that they may know the beloved and be free to follow the precepts of love. For the Spirit of truth is written upon open hearts, that we might share the divine plan and model to the children love's way as we have been shown, that each new generation might honor silence, the children yet unborn. Therein lies the hope of the future, to live as co-creators with the great Creator. Let us live into this future, this hope of a future that might learn what it means to live as co-creators with the great Creator. As we lean into this, we acknowledge that we gather in hope on the unceded and ancestral lands of the Kwantlen, the Matsqui, the Katzie, and the Semiahmoo people of hope, people of care, people that know and have always known that they are the co-creators with the great Creator. Let us learn from their legacy. Let us learn from their hope. Let's bring our hearts and our hands to reconciliation. We welcome you to this time of calm, a time of allowing yourself to find sanctuary with and in God, a time to tune in to your inner voice. Welcome to Livestream Nurture or Worship, whatever you might like to call it, with United Churches of Langley. We hope that you find the living spring within through the beautiful psalm interpretations by Nan Merrill, through special music to calm your soul, and through prayers and reflections to help you venture into stillness, into the silence, where the voice of wisdom can be felt and heard. Allow yourself to be still, to take back your power to be with all that is in life. This is your birthright, and yet also something that we must come to remember and sometimes build skills to embody. One day, as part of our shift conversations about this summer of Psalms and the challenging times we have been experiencing, we talked about how we might be with, truly be with all that is going on in our bodies, our lives, and the world. At times, many of you have expressed that it feels like we're sipping from a fire hose. The sickness, the death of COVID, the ever-changing protocols and health orders, the violence we see on the news, the hate we hear in our neighborhoods and on social media, the fires ravaging our neighbors and friends, the isolation we feel when we are out of our sanctuary. Our shift friends wondered with me, how might we demonstrate how this feels, and what might we do to build resilience and power in the midst of a time when we feel powerless and spent? I'll leave it to Brad to share what he and Deb have come up with, a way of seeing, truly seeing the impact of the past few years has had on all of us, and what I've experienced in the neuropsychology and naturopathic worlds to help me better understand how I might tune down and tune in and feel the power of the holy.
You may have heard of titration in science class or maybe in a mixing medicine component. It's a way of slowing down flow of liquid into some other substance. And it also has a therapeutic aspect to it. We're going to start talking about that more. You're going to hear about it more in sort of counseling and therapeutic terms, because it's the kind of polar opposite of sipping from a fire hose. Sipping from a fire hose is like too much pressure, too much presence, way too much everything. And so sipping from that is just impossible. But titration is the opposite, where it's slowing down the flow of something so that we are actually controlling the exposure. And so as we think about what's been happening in the pandemic and all of the global forces at work, there's just so much coming at us all the time. And so it's our responsibility to kind of measure what we're doing for ourselves and for each other. And so right now I wanted to give a visual impression of what titration looks like. And so I have a pipette here, and it's a simple glass tube with a tap on it. And the tap controls the speed of liquid flowing out of it. And right now, it's totally stopped, and I can have it go at a very slow rate. And we'll show you from the tap perspective, and we'll show you how the water flows. This is water with just a little bit of food coloring. And so I can slow that way down and just kind of have that come out one drop at a time. And so as we talk about titration and for ourselves and our emotional level, this is an important component for how we process grief or trauma or stress. We need to slow things down, operate a little bit more contemplatively, and take a closer look and a slower look at things. And so right now, I'm going to show you what this looks like slowed way down. So already this is a slow down, one drop at a time. And I'm going to show you what this looks like slowed down to quarter speed. And then I'm going to show you some examples of it completely frozen in time. And what I'm hoping to do by that is we look at it slowed and then we look at it frozen, is that there's lots of stuff to examine and lots of stuff to marvel at even when we slow things down and we take a look, a more careful, rich look at what's happening. There's a mystery to water simply dropping into water that we don't pay attention to because it happens so fast. But when we slow it down, when we freeze it, there's all kinds of mystery and magic that's happening in there. And this is how I want to build for you the visual impression of what titration can be for us and how we can hold this for each other. So there's the visual representation of titration. And if you want a visual representation of sipping from a fire hose, ask someone else.
Wow, that was powerful, Brad. Thanks. Yes, it felt very real to kind of feel that experience of a slow drip, 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 and somewhat of an endless flow. And then learning ways that we might control the exposure into little doses, and then be able to feel a bit of the power in choosing how much we expose ourselves to, and to learn practices that can help us build the capacity to be with our own pain and the pain of others, and not be flooded or overwhelmed, to tighten the tap when needed, to slow the flow, and just be. And allow the spirit of life to support us to be in the stillness and to be with what is, and know that we are safe and loved. As we contemplate heading back to normal, let's take a moment to remember what we thought normal was. Many of us came to think that normal was 14-hour days running from one thing to the next, waiting for a holiday or Sabbath time, ending up burnt out and spent. Some laid up for weeks, some even ending up in hospital. It was a bit like we would add a little bit to our day and then add a little bit more, or for some of us, it felt more like this. where life just overflowed, full of all those wonderful activities, yet maybe not quite normal for what that pace might be that is sustainable. We are clear that there is a better pathway forward in living in the pace of grace, as Linda Popoff wrote in her book by that name, Pace of Grace. What would that look like? How might we live and worship and gather at a pace that we can process our lives as we live our lives? A sustainable pace that helps us keep ourselves and each other calm, kind, and safe. As we schedule our days and our months, let's think about this titration. Let's think about the process to determine the drip, the pace, and choose one that is nourishing, uplifting, and sustainable. Instead of that fire hose way that we live life, pouring over, let us open up to a pace that allows for us to sustain our gatherings, our connections, our work, and our play. An unnatural pace that puts our bodies, minds, and souls can overwhelm the system and eventually create symptomatic stress that triggers us to fight, flight, or freeze, as we spoke in last week's service. I've seen some of this just this week, the week of this big full moon. I experienced some lunacy in many, a bit of out-of-character rage or anxiety that became a bit overwhelming. Let's do it differently. Let's find a pace of grace together. How might we do it differently? How might we titrate life and live in grace? Listen a little bit later about our 12-40-60 plan, a plan of connection, of community, of celebration. And let's follow the light, as this excerpt from Psalm 132 says. As you follow the light, you become gentle and kind and come to live in the light. Children enter the world radiating the Spirit. Learn from them innocence and simplicity. Learn to cooperate with the unseen realms. Let us follow the light and come to live in the light.
Be still, my soul, the hour is hastening on, when we shall be forever in God's peace, when disappointment, grief, and fear are gone, love's joys restored, our strivings all shall cease. Be still, my soul, when change and tears are past, all safe and blessed, we shall meet at last. In the silence, there is a sacred place, a secret meeting place. Love is there, and in the silence, where every color blends and every rainbow ends, good is there. In the light now I find that I know peace of mind, and in the silence, where every song begins and where my heart it mends, joy is there. In this joy that is mine, all is there beyond all time. And in this silence, there in my sacred place, my secret meeting place, love is there, peace is there, truth is there, God is there.
Our scripture reading today is from Psalm 132, an interpretation by Nan Merrill. Enter into the silence, into the heart of truth, for herein lies the great mystery, where life is ever unfolding. Herein the divine plan is made known, the plan All are invited to serve. Listen for the music of the holy word in the resounding silence of the universe. May balance and harmony be your aim as you are drawn into the heart of love. Those who follow in the way of love with calm and faith-filled heart know that all is working toward the healing and wholeness. And may the healing power of love lift you from the limitations of fear and ignorance into the arms of freedom. May the peace of the Spirit bless you and lead you on life's journey. Be not afraid of the silence, for wisdom's voice is heard there. Wise are those who learn through silence. Learn then to listen well. For beyond the silence and stillness within, you will come to know a profound and dazzling silence. Herein lies the music of the spheres, the harmony of creation. Enter into the holy temple of your soul and converse with the beloved in sweet communion. Blessings of the great silence be with you as you help to rebuild the heart of the world with love. Our theme throughout this whole service and our words of the songs have been ones of stillness, of silence, of go within. The invitation from this psalm and from this whole service is to go into the silence, to go within where we can hear the whispers of the Spirit, our inner stirrings, and feel the healing love of self and God. Some of you are ready to rejoice and to gather and dance and sing, while others are still feeling the effects of this time, of what one of my teachers, Thomas Hubel, calls the collective trauma. Thomas shares a story during a time when he was working with both people from Germany as well as from Israel regarding the collective trauma of the Holocaust. First, second, or third generations after the Holocaust. Most had not experienced the trauma personally, but had heard the stories. And the felt sense that was in the field, in the rooms of the conference Thomas was leading was palpable. At some point, a collective, unified eruption occurred. No one really knew where it had come from, but all felt it. As they journeyed together through the hours that followed, great healing occurred within the people present, as well as the extended families and generations linked to the participants. It was quite profound. As we read these wisdom psalms, ones that offer guidance and insights, we allow ourselves to heed the words. Wise are those who learn through silence, for beyond the silence and the stillness within, you will come to know a profound and dazzling silence. Herein lies the music of the spheres, the harmony of creation. The Psalms today call us to find or to create the calm in the storm, to personally determine how we might use the metaphor Brad so beautifully demonstrated earlier, how we might titrate our exposure, titrate our activity to find that pace of grace, to notice when we are creating the storms and when we are creating or experiencing calm. In working with my neurooptometrist and my neuropsychologist, this titration process has been critical for my recovery. I couldn't keep avoiding the situations that were triggering my vertigo, but I also couldn't flood my system too much and end up back in the hospital. I had to pulse or titrate my exposure and then use grounding and other practices to cultivate my healing and resilience. It was a long exploratory process that I think we are being called into at this point in all of our collective history. As we build our capacity to find stillness, to learn the efficacy of silence, we open to the realms beyond the haze and chatter of our busy lives. Part of the Summer of Psalms is to help us weather the storm we have experienced, to create a calm, kind, safe way to come together in community. The Psalms give us guidance and support for this. If we do not do this healing work, we come together angry and growing up all over each other, like a friend of mine used to call it. That is not a community that I, and dare I say you, want to be a part of. The true pandemic is the physical, emotional, and spiritual storm that has left us in its wake. I hope we can use these beautiful interpretations of the Psalms by Nan Merrill to soothe our souls, to heal our hearts, to mend us into wholeness, that we might return to community as wholehearted beings, ready to connect, commune, and to collaborate. Enter into the holy temple of your soul. Converse with the beloved in sweet communion. Blessings of the great silence be with you as you help to rebuild the heart of the world with love. Allow this next song to open you to the healing power of God, found in the calm within, heard in the stillness and silence of our beings. Listen and know that you are loved. Settle back. Close your eyes. Free your mind, just be. Watch your breath come and go as it takes you out to sea. God is here, loving you. Hear the oceans roar within. Let the peace bring you home once more. Let your thoughts drift away. You don't need them here. You are in a quiet place where trust replaces fear. Feel the beating of your heart. Feel the air upon your skin. Listen. Listen in the silence. God is calling. Go within. Go within.
Settle back, close your eyes, free your mind, just be. Watch your breath come and go as it takes you out to sea. God is here loving you. Hear the oceans roar. Go Let your thoughts drift away. You don't need them here. You are in a quiet place where trust replaces fear. Feel the beating of your heart. Feel the air upon your skin. Listen to the silence. God is calling, go within. Go within. Go within. Listen to the silence.
My soul longs for you, eternal flame of love. I long to reconnect to the great mystery. Each generation must learn anew the efficacy of silence, the wisdom of turning inward, that your light might be their guide to holiness and your love nurture them toward wholeness. Each of us is called to open our inner ears, to see with spiritual eyes, and to trust that even amidst the outward chaos, all is working towards the wholeness of humanity. Eternal listener, give heed to your people who gather here today. You who are our guide and our light, you who dwell amidst the angels, shine forth into the heart of all nations. Enliven people with compassion, that peace and justice might flourish. Restore us, O Holy One. Let your face shine upon us. Teach us to love. O gentle teacher, help us to turn to you in prayer, fasting from our negative thoughts. In your steadfast love, you weep with our tears, tears that rise from fear, doubt, and illusion. You uphold us when we feel the sting of pride, when our anxiety threatens to paralyze us. Restore us, O Holy One, let your face shine upon us, teach us to love. You companion us through the wilderness, through the shadow created by fear. You plant your seed in each heart, You uproot the weeds of our sin. You cultivate the soil of our goodness. Truly in you, we become like a tiny acorn, holding the secret of a mighty oak. You nourish us with the food of love and streams of living water. Be our strength as we break down walls that separate and divide. Let not fear pluck away the gifts we would share. Roll away the stones that become obstacles to growth and to producing a bountiful, bountiful harvest. Receive our gratitude, O heart of all hearts. Look upon us and see what love can do. Rejoice in the new birth that you create. Be glad where your seed has found fertile soil. How much more the return of one healthy plant than the 1,000 useless weeds. Amen. Amen. What a wonderful time we had with 2 weeks of Camp Spirit. Over 60 children and younger youth and over 20 youth and young adult leaders gathered together for an outdoor camp to engage themes of inclusion, diversity, harmony, healing, spirit, courage, resilience, every child matters, and reconciliation. This important ministry is made possible by the generosity of this congregation. This, along with spiritual practices and pastoral care during this challenging time, have been important ministry that you have supported. We are now making a 3-part plan to gather together. As you may have seen in the e-news, the first step of the plan is to gather 12 of your friends, to invite Reverend Ryan to meet with you for a time of connection, a time of prayer if you so choose. The second step is hosts will be bringing together groups of up to 40 to participate and engage in community in live stream worship together at both of our sites. And the third step, once we get a feel for the numbers this fall as children return to school and variants are tracked, we will gather to worship together. It may look or feel a little bit different since we will maintain our live stream for friends who are not able to make it to in-person worship. Let us journey together to give thanks on Thanksgiving. Please participate in all 3 phases of the 12, 40, 60. Connection, community, celebrate, and help make this possible with your participation and your givings. Rentals are just now picking up a little bit, so we could use your help to source this phased approach of gathering. You can give online one time or an ongoing basis through GivePoint. The link is in the chat and in our YouTube notes. You can mail or drop off a check to our Murrayville location. The address is in the YouTube notes and on our website. Or you can sign up or increase your PAR pre-authorized giving by sending an email to finance@ucol.ca. Thank you for making ministry possible through United Churches of Langley.
I will make a quiet place within my heart, and I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord. I will make a quiet place within my mind, and I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord. I will make a quiet place within my heart, and I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord. I will make a quiet place within my mind, and I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still and know. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still and know. I will make a quiet place within my life, and I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord. I will make a quiet place, I will make a quiet place, I will make a quiet place.
Our benediction today comes from Psalms 145 and 80. O heart of heart, envelop us. We know you are near to all who call upon you. Bring to our recollection all that we have denied, that we might be accepting and free to help rebuild the soul of the world with radical trust and wonder. May we always walk and co-create with you, O creating one. Receive the gratitude of our hearts as we share in the great plan. Restore us, O Holy One. Let your face shine upon us. Teach us love. Lead us in the way of love.
Turn the light off, contemplate. Tell me all about the day you had. Lay beside me, it's time to rest. You can close your eyes, you've done your best. Let me be sanctuary. Let me be a safe place to fall. I can take away your worry, the refuge from it all this time we had together is our shelter from the rain. I will share the way you carry. Let me be your sanctuary. We have weathered through the storms, taking comfort in each other's arms. When the dark clouds come again, I will lift you up and take you in. Let me be your sanctuary. Let me be a safe place to fall. I can take away your worries, the refuge from it all this time we have together is our shelter from the rain. I will share the way you carry. Let me be your sanctuary.